Fellas, good evening. I suppose I'm on a football kick lately, as I'll be sharing some more football cards today. Before I spin this around and show everybody some cards, I thought I'd take a real quick moment to say I finally made it to a card show last weekend, so it's been almost a week. It's the card show in Xenia, Ohio, called the Great American Sports Memorabilia and Trading Card Show. And I'll just say, I had a great time. I haven't been to a card show since, well, forever, I guess. Um, I don't even remember the last time I was at a card show. So I just had a great time. My son went with me, and he had an absolute blast. Um, yeah, so he was given a Shohei Ohtani card from this year. He was given a Ellie De La Cruz card from maybe last year. Was his Bowman rookie card. Looked super great. He was given a old Gaudy, a reprint. I should be more clear, but a reprint of the Gaudy Babe Ruth card. And he already knows who Babe Ruth is, and so he was really excited to get that card as well. I don't think he quite knows who Shohei is, um, but he knows who Ellie De La Cruz is, and he knows who Babe Ruth is. So he was super excited. He also got the I call them big heads, but that's not the right term. But he got a Michael Jordan Dream Team big head. I think there's something like Pop Dolls, maybe. But he got one of those. He got a draw for a winning raffle ticket. So then he got to hear the number he picked. Uh, you know, or drew from a bucket. He got to hear that called over the speakers, and he was all sorts of excited about that. So he just had a great time, and I think he thoroughly enjoyed it. His cards and his pop uh, Michael Jordan are proudly, and I mean proudly, fellas, proudly displayed on his desk when he's doing his schoolwork. And so it's just it was great to see. It was a lot of fun. I definitely have a lot of learning to do, and that'll all come with due time. But if anyone is watching from that day at the Xenia Card Show, I just want to say thank you very much. You made my son's day very, very special. So I appreciate that. But with that, we're gonna spin this round and we're gonna look at some cards. All right. Let's look at some cards. So first card of the day is going to be the 1983 Topps card. It is of Joe Montana. This card is the 1982 Record Breaker card. This was for completing his fifth consecutive game of 300 yards passing. The record previous to this was a man I'm sure most of you have heard of named Dan Fouts, the great San Diego Charger Dan Fouts. The record now, by the way, is no longer Joe Montana's. It is now a guy named Drew Brees, who completed the feat twice, by the way. So twice in his career, he threw 300 yards or more in a game 9 times, which is just incredible. Yeah, I don't even think Joe Montana's record now is even in the top 5, which is also incredible. Lots of passing yards in the game now, which is good. No complaints there. But yeah, I love this card. It's got great color in it. If you're a centering person, uh, looks like pretty good centering too. But yeah, Joe Montana, the 49ers were the team in the 80s and the 90s. And I thoroughly loved watching the 49ers play. I wanted to run like Roger Craig. I wanted to hit like Ronnie Lott, and I wanted to throw like Joe Montana. But yeah, good times. So beautiful card. Very excited to get this. Uh, Trying to make sure I keep the whole card here in view. So Joe Montana, card number 1. So speaking of different folks I liked when I was growing up, which is kind of where we're going down. This is the 1978 Tony Dorsett autographed rookie card. First thing I notice on this card is the penmanship, that nice capitalized T in his first name. Really should probably write better here in the 21st century. I think I've said before that I am not a huge fan of any NFC East team, to include the St. Louis Cardinals and even the Dallas Cowboys. And yes, I did grow up in Texas. But these Cowboys have had some of the players that I've really liked over the years. And Tony Dorsett was the first. I still remember watching his 99-yard run against those Minnesota Vikings in 1983. That play almost made me become a Cowboys fan. Almost. With over 12,000 yards running, he remains in the top 10 of all-time rushing leaders. When the Cowboys traded him to the Denver Broncos, I felt horribly betrayed, as if somehow I had a say in the matter. Anyways, this is his rookie card, and it was a card I had always wanted. I was very excited when I finally added it to my collection. He is still, and probably always will be, one of my favorite running backs. I know people have talked about his time in college as well. He's just absolutely phenomenal. And some reason I've liked a lot of the Cowboys players, but I have not been a huge Cowboys fan growing up. Tony Dorsett. Next up, tied for second place for the most passing yards in a single game, Warren Moon. You guys should have known I was going to have to add a couple of these folks to the list. Got to have some Oilers in the film. So Warren Moon accomplished the feat of the second most passing yards in 1990, the same year this card was made. The game was in Kansas City in December, which makes the 527 yards even more impressive. This win helped the Oilers make it to the playoffs as a wildcard team. But those Cincinnati Bengals beat them soundly and sent Warren Moon and crew back to Houston soon after. All right, one more autograph for the day. This is one of the people that helped to make things happen for all these players. Folks who typically don't make it into the Hall of Fame. But if you watched football in the 80s and 90s, you know that the Matthews brothers were absolute beast. This is the Fleer Game Day 1993 card. And as you can tell, they are a little bit larger than your regular cards. This card is great for a lot of reasons, but one of the things I love about it is that the background has been grayed out. So it really focuses attention on the player who's featured in the card, and not all of the busyness that's happening in the background. There just aren't a lot of linemen who make it into the Hall of Fame, which is a shame because you don't get 10,000 rushing yards without your offensive line. You don't get quarterback protection without your offensive line. And yet these guys, at least for purposes of things like the Hall, don't get the respect they deserve for it. But these cards are really cool. Like I said, they're bigger than the normal cards, but I like the way they look. I was excited to find one and to find it with the autograph of Bruce Matthews. So if you've gotten this far, I just want to say thank you for watching. There are two things I want to show you really, really quick. You see, years ago, I served in the Air Force with a guy named Otis Frampton. Anyway, I don't really collect comics typically, but I wanted to show off some of Otis's work because he is a comic book artist. How did I get on this sidekick? Well, not too long ago, John Mangini had posted the following quote. He said, "I'd like to educate you. I'd like to educate, so here you go. This term is not used to describe objects. The majority of cards ever made are not bizarre or strange. That's completely absurd and doesn't fit the definition. This term is not used to describe objects. The intent of the word is to describe people." The word he had referenced was from the dictionary, and it was oddball. When I heard this, it made me think of Otis's first comic book series. And that comic book series is called Oddly Normal by Otis Frampton. And he had started working on this comic when we were in the military together. And he and I would occasionally talk about his work, and I found it just interesting that somebody I knew was going to leave the Air Force and go pursue their dream of trying to draw and write comics. And he pursued that and eventually got this published and has been publishing things ever since. If you like some of comics that have more color and art in them than something like Oddly Normal, he also did a series called The Patchwork Girl of Oz by Otis Frampton. And once again, the colors here become quite vibrant, lots of fun in them. And so I thought I would share it after that fun comment by John Mangini. So this is some of Ted's work. I thought and still think it's very good, and he was and is a good man. So thank you for watching, and I hope everybody has a good rest of their evening and good rest of their day and good weekend. Thanks. Bye.